currently standing at Simbonga Sanctuary, and you can see here behind me is Mir, one of the lions who was saved from Ukraine and rescued and then brought here. He's been here about a month, alongside his partner Simba, who is hiding at this point in time. He's about 10 years older lion, who, from what I've heard, is struggling to adjust. But as you can see, Mir is quite comfortable, acclimating quite nicely. But I am joined now by Lawrence Smith, who is the mother and takes care of these lions during the day-to-day operations.
Right.
Just tell us how Mir and Simba are doing.
So everything's very individualized, and that's something that can't be expressed more. Mir, as you can see, he's very relaxed. I'm actually quite surprised. I think he's happy to see some visitors, and he's actually been adjusting very well. Both of them have been eating nicely, doing all their normal day-to-day, but something like the sanctuary is very new to them. The environment's so new that it does take time, like you mentioned with Simba. It's taking him a little bit longer. Mir, once he saw the trees and the bush, he's like, this is it, this is great, this is the life. He's quite happy to come and be curious of his surroundings, whereas Simba, like you'd mentioned, is hiding a little bit. That's his opportunity to take time to adjust at his own pace. But they're both doing really well overall, just like us. It's a little bit different for every person. It's different for them as well.
The project and the sanctuary that you guys run here, you guys rescue animals and bring them here to a more natural state. As you mentioned, that you rescue them from like circuses, from unnatural habitats. Right. Mir and Simba were brought here during the wartime. How bad was their situation where they were?
So with these two in particular, and most of the animals as well as people in Ukraine right now, their fates are unknown. They don't know what's going to happen. With Mir, he was actually being kept basically on a small holding. And so not only was his home environment not necessarily correct for him anyway, now add bombs and shelling and all of these things around him that are not natural for him to be exposed to, in addition to an already unnatural life. And so for them, we can't stress enough how much it was very harmful for them to be in there, just like everyone that's being affected by this war right now.
Lauren, if we can just move up this way, can you just tell us how traumatic or difficult it is to move these big cats from where they are in their unnatural habitat to here where you guys try to revive and, rescue them?
Yeah, so it's not something that happens overnight. Many people think, yeah, you rescue an animal and then you bring them to where they need to be. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of logistics behind it. Not only is it transport and travel and appropriate stuff like that. It's also funding. It's also making sure you get all of your documents in order. You want to make sure that you're doing everything by the book and make sure that the animals are always in the safest environment as well. And so it's oftentimes months and months and months of preparation just to do the relocation itself. And then here at the sanctuary, we're also preparing on a standpoint of making sure that their habitats are ready, which is building and constructing specific to them, which is its whole new ball game of everything. So there's a lot of logistics behind it all. And we're very fortunate that we've had a lot of people that have stepped up and helped us with that.
And when they arrived, you said this was Mir's it is quite little for the size of the animal, a crate that he came with. He flew in this,
right,
as I understand.
Right, so anytime you're transporting an animal, many people think that we actually keep them under sedation, and that's just not true. You do keep them awake during the transport itself. It's not safe to keep them under sedation because then you need someone monitoring them at all times, and it's a very long journey. So with their transport crates, they need to be able to stand up, they need to be able to lay down and turn around. That's it. So it might seem small for an animal like a lion, but it is something that is the safest possible thing for them to be in that space for the time frame of travel. And then there are little feeding areas for them, some watering areas, so you can make sure that all their needs are met. There's obviously ventilation. At the end of the day, it is, again, unnatural, so it's not necessarily nice for them, but it's one way we can get the job done and get them where they need to be.